all doing?
Doing good. How about you?
Doing good as well. Good to see many people joining us today again. Let's wait for another 2 minutes so that more people can join, and then we will begin the session. In the meantime, while others are joining, if anybody has any questions for me from the last session, please feel free to ask me and we can discuss. Okay, I will take it as a no. Are you all excited to start with our ServiceNow journey officially today? To get to know what is exactly ServiceNow and in which all ways it can serve us in the good.
Yep, that's the
Okay,
plan.
great. So we have Mustansher, Sony, Naveed, Rajdeep, Sukhjeet, Yogesh, Nuruzaman, Sibia, Esther, Carol, Anthony, Rajni, Tanvi, Hosya, Pooja, Usha. Great to see you all of you, Chaitanya as well. If I have missed anyone, okay, we have Shivang, we have Nisansala. Great. Really excited to see you all, guys. Okay, I think we should begin the session now. Let me share my screen. Please let me know once it's visible. Okay. Let
Yeah, we can see now.
me get back to the screen. I hope
Gurpreet, your voice is breaking.
it is visible for everyone.
Your voice is breaking.
Sorry, everyone. I think I lost my connection in between, so you were not able to hear me. I was sharing my screen. I hope I'm audible now.
I can hear you. I don't see any shared screen though.
Okay, yeah, that I will be doing now. I've rejoined the call. Please let me know once my screen is visible for everyone.
Yeah,
It's
we can.
visible.
Perfect. Okay, great. Think now we are good. Apologies for the inconvenience. My connection dropped out. Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the second session for introduction to the ServiceNow and getting to know about all the ecosystem that we have over here. So we will first have a ServiceNow overview, right? And we will try to understand it from the industry context, that what exactly where it fits in, what value it brings to us. And then we will get to know about the ServiceNow ecosystem, the word which I've used frequently even yesterday, that what all is there within ServiceNow other than the learning, right? What all different platforms of ServiceNow are there, which can help you to excel in your role. Then next we would have ServiceNow release model and architecture. So release model means just like you keep on having new versions of your apps, right? Time to time, you have new models, new versions. Similarly, ServiceNow keeps updating itself. So there is every time a new model. So we will get to know about it. And then we need to understand the architecture on a high level. Then we will get to know about the ServiceNow BA career and what will be the roadmap, right? And at the last, we will be taking any Q&A. So let's start with this course, right? Let me move to the next slide. So first is that who is this course for, right? Let's start with something very simple. Think about the last problem you faced. Okay. Maybe your laptop didn't work. Maybe your salary was incorrect. Or maybe your internet was slow, just like it happened for me right now, right? Now think, how did you explain that problem to someone else? Anybody who would like to volunteer? Can you tell me if you're facing some issue, what all parameters you would be, explaining or mentioning in order to explain your problem to someone else? Like my internet dropped down, right? So my question would be, I will be explaining what the issue exactly was, when it exactly started, how it impacted me, right? And what I expected. So the moment I did that, I was doing business analysis. When I'm getting into the what, when, how, and why of the reason, the business need, right? I'm actually doing business analysis there. So business analysis is not about tools. It is about explaining problems correctly, clearly, right? So now let me ask a quick question. How many are you from a technical background? Although we have got the introductions yesterday, but can I have a raise of hands? How many people are there from the technical background? Okay, we have Soumya, we have Usha, we have Mustanshir. Okay, we have Sibya. Cool. And how many of you are from non-technical background? If we can have a raise of hands. Okay, we have Carol, Nazim, Shivang, Rajdeep. Cool. Okay. We have Tanvi as well. Great. And now one more question. How many of you have ever explained something complicated in simple words? Most of you did, right? That skill is more valuable than knowing any technology, right? Because service now can be taught, confidence can be built, but clarity of thinking is the real skill of a business analyst if you are thinking to step into this role. So it is very important that you think clearly, you get into the why, what, and how of the questions, right? Situations. Now imagine you go to HR for a laptop issue and you don't care how it is fixed, right? You care what you asked for, when you will get it, right? And who is responsible for getting it on the right time or fixing it. Now that thinking is business analysis, right? So let me also set expectations very clearly. This is not a course where I will overload you with the theory. And this is not a course where you will be judged. And this is definitely not a course where you need to do coding because coding is nowhere in the question over here. So this is a job-oriented training. My goal is to make you think like a real ServiceNow business analyst, right? Not like a student. So by the end of this journey, I want you to say, that I can confidently sit in a ServiceNow BA interview because that's our end goal. From the day one, we have to keep our goal in the mind and prepare and learn in that way so that you're actually prepared for the real world when you have to sit into the job interview for a ServiceNow BA. So as I was saying, who is this course for, right? It is for the tech background. So you already understand systems. You have worked on multiple systems. Yesterday, when we were having introductions, many of you said that some of you have done ServiceNow already. Some have been into business analyst or PM roles. Some have been into banking or finance sectors, money laundering, right? And you guys are also doing healthcare in the HR as well. So, and you have used Zira tool, something else. You already understand systems. We will add now business thinking to it, right? This is for the people who are from tech background. Carol, I see your hand raised. Is there any question for me? Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I should have removed it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's completely fine. Just wanted to make sure if you have any question. Thank you. Next, we have non-tech background. So you already understand people and processes. Even though you were not working with systems, you were working with people, You will working in business areas, right? So you know how to tackle with people and the different processes. Now, to your knowledge, to your experience, we will be adding the tool knowledge, which is ServiceNow, right? If you're an existing business analyst, you already understand the BA work. Now we will map it to ServiceNow language. So now you can see for everyone coming from a different background, how your existing knowledge is going to be mapped and combined with what we are going to do now. Okay, if we are from tech background, we will add business thinking. If you're from non-tech background, we will add the tool knowledge, which is ServiceNow. And then if you're existing BA, we will map it to ServiceNow language. So ServiceNow BA is not about coding at all. It's about asking the right questions. It's about having people skills, having to knowing how to speak, right set of questions to ask from the client. So may I see your hand raised?
Yeah, but what do you mean by business thinking? Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, when I say business thinking, so I was just giving you that example, right? For example, your laptop got it is not working, and you went to HR. You asked her that, okay, I need it fixed, right?
Okay.
So now at that time, you don't care how it is getting fixed, who is fixing it, right? What part got destroyed. You just care what exactly you needed, at what time you will get it in order to continue with your work, right? And who is responsible for that. That is basically the business thinking, to get into the what, how, and why of the things. Because when you are taking requirement from a client, suppose Soumya, you're running a business, right? And I'm your implementation partner. I am ServiceNow. I'm from ServiceNow team. You come to me and you tell me, Gurpreet, people are raising incidents in my company, in my organization via different channels. Somebody is raising it via email. Some people are letting me know their issues via WhatsApp or Teams. Some are sending me, making direct calls. And this is very scattered process, right? So
Okay.
I'm like, okay. And then what you're doing, you have three different people assigned. Nobody's keeping a track that which particular incident or issue, who is taking care of that, or who is keeping a track of which particular area, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
just keep it managed into three different Excels, and even that person has to follow up like 10 different times with you and your other people, that what is the update on my case. So that
Mm-hmm.
is very manual, I would say, unclear, blurred process where there is no visibility or tracking into the process. Now you have asked the client. So my question to you will be, Soumya, let me know how currently this process is running, because even though you don't have incident management from ServiceNow in your place, but still people are raising incidents, right? People are still raising their issues. So what is
Mm-hmm.
the process? And why people are using different channels, right? And how they're exactly, how these things are exactly being taken care of. Like what is the average time that you guys are using to resolve the issue for someone? So these sort of questions, when I say business thinking, this is exactly how you think, right? So
Okay.
I
Okay.
hope
I
I
get it.
answered your question.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you.
great. So I hope in the very beginning, I just wanted to make sure you all can see yourself fitting over here, that okay, how tech, non-tech background and existing BAs or PMs all can leverage from this course in the best way possible, because that is the beauty of the BA role and the ServiceNow tool, that you can step into it without having any coding knowledge, and you can always leverage your existing skills. So it's always about asking the right set of questions, which makes you business thinking. Okay, moving ahead now, we have, so introduction to ServiceNow, right? So what is exactly ServiceNow? In every company, as I was saying, employees raise request. For some people, laptop is not working. Sometimes a new employee is joining, right? So you have to do their onboarding. Sometimes you need a password reset for one of your system. And other times there is a payroll issue. And maybe some people need access to the SharePoint of the company where all the documents, training material is stored. So before ServiceNow, now these things, as I said earlier in the previous example, these are getting documented via emails or maybe in the Excel sheets, via phone calls. So there is a lot of mess over there, right? Now ServiceNow came to organize this mess. So ServiceNow is basically a platform that helps companies to manage the work, all the requests and services in one place. So there is, imagine now you having to go to 10 different places. You have joined as a new employee. You have to reach out to 10 different teams, IT team, legal team, payroll team, and find some other team, HR team, IT team. It's very hectic. And now imagine you have the ServiceNow instance. There is one platform where you log in, you can raise requests for pretty much anything, and you get visibility what is the status of your request. Isn't it more easier? Why Amazon and Google are widely accepted and used? Because they have structure in the place, because they have this similar thing like ServiceNow, where there is a consolidated platform. You see, we have Google Photos, we have Google Meet, we have Google browser, right? Chrome is there. We have Google multiple things. Music is there, right? So what they have done, they have built an ecosystem. So does the Apple, right? And so does ServiceNow. So that is exactly what ServiceNow is. It is a cloud-based platform, right, for digital workflows. Anything which is currently manual, when you digitize it, right, that is what exactly ServiceNow is. It's a cloud-based platform for digital workflows, and it helps the companies to automate their IT, HR, customer service, maybe their asset management, everything you can name, and ServiceNow is taking care of that for a company. So the problem it solves is if you have any siloed systems, you have manual processes, there's a lack of visibility, lack of tracking, no accountability on anyone's end. So ServiceNow is going to solve all of that, right? Now, let's take a real life analogy. Think of ServiceNow like Uber Eats app, right? For corporate work. But for corporate work, you raise a request, you see the status. Now someone is assigned for your order as a delivery partner. You keep on getting updates time to time where your order exactly is. Is it currently being prepared in the restaurant? Has the delivery partner been selected and assigned to it? Have they reached the restaurant? Have they picked up your order? And are they on the way back to your location? How much time it is going to take? And you get constant updates like this. You get the delivery. ServiceNow does the same, but it does for IT, HR, facilities, security, finance, you name it, and everything is there, right? So now ServiceNow's evolution, right? Um, it started simply as an ITSM platform, firstly, but then it got widely expanded into enterprise service management. So it became a platform for digital transformation into the different domains, as I was explaining above, IT, HR, CSM, assets, right? So currently, the market presence of ServiceNow is that it's in the Fortune 500 adoption, right? It was mentioned by Gartner Magic Quadrant leader. So you can see it has been in one of the top tools which are being widely used by the enterprises to manage their work, to have their processes digitalized. Now, why companies love ServiceNow, right? Because there is no lost request, there is a clear ownership, right? Faster resolution. You can create even reports, right? You can create reports for management, and there is automation instead of constant follow-ups with one person. So companies don't buy ServiceNow for the technology, they buy it for visibility and control, and above all, the ease of access that is there to use the platform. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to the user experience. And ServiceNow provides a very good user experience because anybody who is, not even technically sound, anybody who is new to ServiceNow, they can learn to use it very easily. So it is being widely adopted. Now, next is to understand the ServiceNow ecosystem. Now that we understand what it does, let's explore the ecosystem, the world inside ServiceNow, which is very important. So ServiceNow can be broadly categorized into four main workflow families. First is IT workflows. It includes ITSM, service management, ITOM, which is operations management, and ITBM, which is now named as SPM. It's about strategic portfolio management, anything related to project management, basically. Now, there are so many other domains, right? But particular to IT, these are the three, and these help IT teams run like a business. Imagine why. Because I have a company, I'm starting an IT company. If my IT services are being taken care, my operations team is being taken care, anything related to project management, resource management, financial management is taken care, which comes under ITBM, right? That is covering 80% of my company. The processes, the people, the finances, right? So the first main workflow of this ServiceNow family is IT workflows. So somebody needs to take care of this part. And then definitely in my company, in order to have a fully functional, sound company where employees feel seen and heard, right? We need employee workflows. We need HRSD, right? So HRSD is another module in ServiceNow, which is used for onboarding if you have any workplace issues, if you want to raise any request related to your leave, right? Leave policies, maternity leave, paternity leave, anything. So that pretty much gets covered under employee workflows. Then we have customer workflows. Now, obviously, if I'm creating an IT company, I'm building an IT company, I'm going to have my customers, right? So we need customer workflows where there is the customer service management, field service management for people who are working on the field. So you can see how ServiceNow's ecosystem is so broad. It is pretty much covering every area which is possible, right? When I say employee workflows, that is basically this focuses on improving the employee experience. And when I say customer workflows, you can think of it as post sales or support processes. Once you've sell the product, right, then you need to take care of the customer. Tanvi, I see your hand raised.
Hi, Gurpreet. So I have a question. You
Mhm.
mentioned that ServiceNow has its own ecosystem where it comes to employee workflows like HRSD, onboarding, workplace. So ATS systems that are being used these days, like UltiPro, Workday, how are they different from ServiceNow ecosystem?
Because the ATS system is totally, it's like application tracking system, right? It's altogether a different thing. ServiceNow is a full-fledged system which takes care of not just the taking care of, even if you're using ServiceNow and you have to hire people, still you're going to use ATS to pick up the keywords from the resumes. But HRSD, when we will deep dive into it, Tanvi, you will get to understand that how broadly it is categorized, because HLSD as of now might seem like a very simple word, but it's a huge application in itself. It includes basically case management. If as an HR somebody raised to you issue, it gets converted into a case. So that case has different stages now, different areas to cover, and then you get notifications, SLAs. Somebody's getting onboarding, offboarding, you are migrating from one department to another. Maybe they are transferring you from one location to another, you're getting promoted. So all those concerns, you want to apply for leave, there is a timesheet issue, anything you name under HR, ETS does just one part. It just picks up your resume, right? And ServiceNow is, I guess, 100 times more than ETS. So that's the difference between both of them.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Gurpreet, this is Rajdeep. I have one question. If you can give an example, like for example, in terms of a banking over here in Canadian banking, how does
Mm-hmm.
this ServiceNow's projects are going to get are working, and how does it how they are implemented? Because what you're giving an example, what I'm getting it is like somebody is
Mm-hmm.
starting a new company or something, but suppose in the banking sector it's already an existing thing. So how this service now, like initially, like small projects, how they are getting worked on it, and how it's like normally processed. So something, if you can give us an idea
Mm-hmm.
of small projects, how they are working in a current like a Canadian banking system, or
Okay.
like is any of the like top five banks or any of the consultancies like top Deloitte or PwC, how they work on in relate to the service now?
Okay. So when we say banking, right, it's a good question, Rajdeep. And I think it's a natural part of your curiosity that you want to understand coming from the banking sector, that how ServiceNow will be useful to you, right? So as
Exactly.
I was saying, yeah. So even in your bank, people, you have an IT department, right? You have an HR department, and you have a operations department, and then you definitely it's all about finance and everything. Now, what happens? ServiceNow projects can be extremely valuable in banking sector. I myself keep on getting the clients and customers who are majorly from the banking sector because they are not just using it as an IT tool, but as a business transformation platform. Because banks operate in very highly regulated environments, right? You have high volume of cases, confidential data, which is customer sensitive, right? And ServiceNow can help you streamline all of that. So you banks deal with massive volumes of customer requests. For example, you might have account issues, you have loan queries, you have card disputes. With ServiceNow, what will happen? You will get a unified portal, service portal, which we call, and you will have a faster case resolution with automation. Now, things will not anymore be manual or keeping having no visibility or tracking. There is AI powered chatbots which can help you with instant responses, right? Even in your banking website, they might have something called as virtual agent, a chatbot kind of thing, which helps people get their queries clarified 24 by 7. So it reduces the wait times, plus there is a better customer satisfaction, right? And if we talk about any end-to-end process in your bank going on, which is manual process, it might be slow, it might have a lot of errors, right? ServiceNow can automate any loan approval workflows in your company, right? Maybe it is having in your banking sector, there are loan approvals, there might be new account opening, KYC verification, there could be internal approvals that are required for credit, compliance, risk, multiple things, right? So what ServiceNow will does, there will be ServiceNow BA who will be talking to your business people and it will be understanding currently how these things are running. Now, these processes might be currently manual. We will be documenting each requirement and then we will be using the suitable module from ServiceNow, which is like you can see, these are listed here. So whatever fits the requirement, we are going to use that and provide you the resolution. We are going to automate the workflows. So you will have faster turnaround time, there will be few errors, low operational cost, maybe then you won't need 10 number of people to manage the processes because now everything is automated. So these are the few things how it is going to be helpful in your banking sector. Like you will get a consolidated portal, all the workflows which you mentioned, anything related to loan, getting new account open, everything, those workflows will be digitalized and automated. And if we talk about banking system, I think the one important thing that I personally feel and as an end user for the banking sector is that your systems should be highly available 24 by 7, right? Because I can have my query even at midnight, 12 a.m. I can need anything. So ServiceNow item comes into the picture at that time because it helps you with infrastructure monitoring. It helps you with event management, where it can detect issues before they can impact the customers on a larger scale. And then we get CMDB as well. CMDB is for visibility of all assets, right? In your bank, you might be having different kind of assets. ITSM can be used for your self-service portal, which your employees can use or users can use, to raise the request. We can have your ticket automation, routing, right? So there is a lot more. Banking sector can leverage each of these modules, each of the features under these capabilities under these modules. So whether it's related to your workflows, whatever processes are going on, and if you want to digitize anything, right? Anything related to security compliance, you name it, and everything will be taken care with ServiceNow modules. You just have to pick the right module, right?
But currently, is like any of the banks like using ServiceNow? Like something as a curiosity, wanted to ask that.
Many
Is
banks
like
must be using service. Now, it totally depends, it depends on the requirement, more on the business requirement and
uh,
what the company's management is deciding, right?
yeah,
If
yeah.
they
Why I'm
if they
asking this
Mhm.
because like suppose if some bank is using because banks have invested a huge amount of money on one of the software, right? So are the banks or like any of the organizations, forget about the banks, if like any of the
Mhm.
organizations, if they are already using like for example a one software which is already rolling the goal, like rolling the ball for them. So
Hmm.
are the banks being or forget about are the banks, are any of the organizations willing to transition into the service now, or how does it like? Is it like
Definitely.
easy or
Why
like
why do you think
tougher?
Yeah, why do you think ServiceNow is in so much of high demand? Because
Exactly.
whenever pre-sales team go out, they meet with people, right? ServiceNow people,
Okay.
and
Okay.
they understand, okay, maybe there are networking events where they go, they talk to people, they get in touch with businessmen who are owning banks or maybe the government people, right? Who are like into this all, and they just talk to them, okay, what issue your business is facing. In networking events, it's all the business talks, right? They're getting to know what are the problems there. Maybe somebody says, okay, we have a good bank, the bank is really nice, but the processes are very manual, repetitive work is there. We just have to deal with a lot of silly queries maybe. And then and ServiceNow expert is standing there. Maybe it could be you, it could be me, who knows ServiceNow in and out, and they suggest the, okay, so we have a solution for your problem, right? And once they say, okay, let's have a meeting, the pre-sales team from my company says that, okay, let's have a meeting. We will show you exactly which problems you're facing and how ServiceNow is going to solve it. So they give them a demo, they make them understand how you can leverage this part of ServiceNow to automate your or solve your issues into your current business. And people are finding it helpful to a great extent. That's why companies are paying for the ServiceNow solutions. And there is a reason why it has so much sound or scope in the market, right? Because once people use it and they feel that, okay, this is something we have always needed. So I think how much it is highlighted
Got
in the
it. Got it.
market, from there you can
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
Got it. Thank you for your detailed answer. Thank you.
sure.
And is the service now integrated with AI also, right? Because right now, when there
Yes,
is an
yes,
AI,
definitely.
okay, okay, okay. Thank
Yeah,
you for that. Thank you.
sure. Okay. Now, next is customer workflow. So as I was saying, think of it as post-sales or support processes, right? So once your company has sold the product, right, or you have delivered the solution to them, now they say that we need customer service management, we need field service management, we need your help. So these are complete applications within itself. So there is like independent learning for this as well if you want to learn, but you should understand there is a related something related to customer workflows. You see, the core workflow families of ServiceNow ecosystem is covering IT, employee, customer workflows, and then creative workflows. So what does creative workflows exactly means? The app engine and integration hub, these are like two different areas. Even AI, these are the features, more like a feature, right? That let the organizations build custom apps and integrations without any heavy coding. So you see, you can even build custom apps right from the scratch if you have any idea, but you don't need heavy coding for it. Because once you get to know the ServiceNow tool, the ServiceNow environment, you will see that you will yourself say, oh my God, Gurpreet, this is so easy. There is hardly any level of coding or scripting required. You can pretty much build an custom app from the beginning. You just need good creative ideas. You should do good research. What is in the demand today's market, right? What you can build, your idea should be good, and ServiceNow is there to help you out. Like everything is pretty much predefined in ServiceNow. And there are different roles in the ecosystem, right? You can be a developer, you can be an admin, you can be a BA, technical architect, or implementation partner, right? So, in fact, all of these roles comes under implementation partner only, right? Let's take one example that I would like to use here to make it more easy to understand whatever I have explained, these four core workflow families. So imagine ServiceNow is like a city, and IT workflows are the roads that connect everything, right? It connects your operations, it connects your business, it connects your IT services, and HR workflows are the residential neighborhoods. So and CSM workflows are the public services that should be available. Why? Because it's like customer service management. So let's say these are the public services. And what are the creative workflows? These are the construction companies which are building new structure when the city expands, right? So within this ecosystem, there are key roles now: developer, administrators, architects, business analysts like you, right? So who are the translators between business language and technical design. So, which workflow do you think most companies start their ServiceNow journey with? Do you think it is IT, HR, or customer service? Anybody who would like to answer this?
I think so. Customer service will be the first starting point because you get a lot of inputs from the customers about what are the existing, like for example, the like what are the feedbacks and what are the difficulties what they are facing, right? Like for example, what is the current situation and how they want to fit in the future. So that
Right.
feedback can be derived from the customer, and and on the basis of then the internal departments can work on the on that. That what I feel.
That, yeah, that could also be one thing. CSM, or some people maybe need, they are badly in demand of HR operations. Maybe they are in, but I think any organization in today's world, most organizations start with IT workflows. Although your answer is correct, Rajdeep, CSM could be also the starting point for some companies, right? For some people, it could be related to HRSD. Some people, it could be related to operations. But most organizations start with IT workflows. Why? Because ITSM sets the foundation. Once the system is stable, they expand into HR and other areas like CSM, FSM, right? Because any company is going to have their employees. Those employees are going to use laptops, servers, routers, right? Many things which are related to IT services. So once you have the foundation set for the company, your system is like fully connected. You have a good ecosystem now, then you can build on top of that the other things, right? Carol, I see you hand raised.
Yes, I was just going to say, so I work in payroll, and for my company, there's thousands and thousands of employees. And they
Yeah,
wanted a system where the employees weren't inundating the payroll team or HR with questions. So they started they attained ServiceNow for the ticketing system. So when the employees have a question about anything from hire to termination, they can
right.
create a ticket, and then that ticket is routed to the department that it needs to go to, and that department will research that question and get back to the employee. So I'm just
Right.
saying that's what we kind of use it for. I mean, we use for benefits and everything. Um,
That's correct.
okay.
Thank you so
So
much, Carol, for, yeah.
we're learning in this class, in this training session, how the back end of it, how this is all, how ServiceNow is created for
That's
the
right,
company.
yeah.
Okay.
How ServiceNow exactly works. So that is the catch here, right? So you have explained it pretty well. You name it anything, right? From the termination, hiring to the termination, right? It could be your transfer. It could be you need a laptop, right? Your laptop is facing some issue. Your Wi-Fi is not working. Your desk has some problem. Anything you can raise a request. It's like a ticket. Ticket is raised and it is assigned to the particular team. Like assignment rules are already in place because it has been discussed with your team. You already told us if this issue comes up, it should go to this team. So we automate the process. You just uh, go to ServiceNow portal, you open the form, you enter your queries that I'm facing this issue or I need this help, or this is where I'm stuck. You submit it. A unique number will be generated for your request. That request will be assigned to a particular group or team and they will take care of it. You will keep getting regular notifications and updates. This is where your request has reached. So, yes, that is how ServiceNow can be helpful. Yes, Mustanche.
Yeah. Hi. I wanted to ask, like, what is Flow Designer in terms of service now?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Okay, so
is it
Flow Designer is,
something that we should be knowing about, or like we should be learning about before getting
yes.
into the service now, or it is something that
No,
we are
no,
going to cover?
not before getting into ServiceNow. Definitely not. It will eventually come up as a part of our training, right? It is very
Mm-hmm.
important for you as a BA to know about Flow Designer. However, we don't need to get into the configuration part. That how to use like you should know what is a Flow Designer, what are its use cases, so that you can guide the client. You can consult them as an analyst that okay, if you have this, we can build using Flow Designer. You should know how to use it, but you don't have to use it because that's for the developers. That's for the tech team to take care of. Flow Designer is basically a very low code, no code kind of thing where you can build an entire workflow for the companies. For example, even if there is a workflow of making coffee, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you can, there is a drag and drop functionality. Like it gives you pretty much everything. You can pick some values. You can say, this is my starting point. This is the condition I want now. After this condition, this action should be happening. It should be getting assigned to this team. So now you don't have to do the coding for all of this. You don't have to do the script writing, right? They will give you
Mm-hmm.
some values in the tablet forms on the right side of the screen. You just drag those values and drop them, and your workflow will be created. It had ServiceNow has made it so easy for everyone to, build workflows from the scratch. So yeah, that is where Flow Designer will come into the picture.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
so it would be something that is like a tool that is used in ServiceNow, and
We can't say
it
tool, it could be listed as one of the feature or capability
features,
under ServiceNow.
capabilities.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
And
So you can use
we
it
we will
because
be
Mhm.
covering it
Yes,
while
we definitely will be.
if
It's very
okay.
important for you as a BA to understand because sometimes your developers are not there and you are expected more than one role. So you should always know how to use a flow designer, at least the functional and operational part of it, right?
Exactly.
Even if you
Exactly. Yeah.
don't have to do technical. Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect. So I hope we all are clear on the ecosystem of ServiceNow. When I say ecosystem, it basically means, just like I gave you an example of that, there is a city, right? In city, we have roads that connect everything. That can be referred to as IT. HR is the residential neighborhoods in those city, right? CSM is like the public services that are available, and creative workflow is the construction companies which are building new structures when the city is developing or expanding. So you can think of ServiceNow like that particular city which has so many different areas, so many capabilities to cover the different domains, right? And there are some key roles which we talked about. So IT is just to be on the same page, ITSM is where most of the companies start with because it sets the foundation. Everything today is digitized. It is dependent on the tools like laptops, this internet, Wi-Fi. So yes, ITSM is like the first thing to go if you have to set up a company in today's time, right? Now let's get into the release model and architecture, right? Let's look under the hood. Now, how ServiceNow is structured. So ServiceNow follows a twice a year release cycle. So it's like, every 6 months, they give you one release, new release, one version, just like you keep on getting new updates for your apps. But those are too frequent. This is like once in 6 months. So every 6 months, a new version comes out of ServiceNow. Now, why do they do it? Because they are staying updated with the time. If AI comes into the picture, ServiceNow will be first to adapt it. If not, any other feature comes into ServiceNow or into the tech, in today's time, the trends are going on. We have to stay updated, with the technology. Otherwise, there are many competitors who can beat us. So ServiceNow makes sure to keep themselves updated by like biannual, I would say, like twice a year. They do the releases where they keep on bringing the new features, new opportunities to make the products more smarter, to enhance it, right? So each release is named alphabetically after a major city. For example, it could be named as Tokyo, Ottawa, Vancouver, Washington, and so on, right? Currently, they have completed the one cycle from A to Z. The release names were like A to Z 26 are done. Now they've again started from A, which is Australia. So the latest release that is going on is Australia, right? Now, companies usually stay on the current or previous version. That means what we call a N-1 model. Because when you're moving from one home to another, you don't directly just move everything all together, right? Because sometimes you keep the backup over there just in case something is there, so you don't miss out on it. You have a lot of things to shift from previous release, from previous versions to new one. So you just keep it as a from an architecture perspective, I can say, so you just, hang on to that model for a while. But once there is a timeline that you feel like, okay, now I don't need this space anymore, then you shift completely to the current release, right? Current version. So, but yeah, it always supports N-1 supported model so that customers stay on latest instance plus previous release for a while to support them. Once the dependency is gone, then you are only on the latest model, right? And from the architecture point of view, I was saying, that ServiceNow follows a multi-instance model. What does that mean is that every customer has their own independent instance. Now you must be having the question, what is an instance, Gurpreet? It's like a personal environment, personal website that every client gets for their company. If they have signed up a project with our company, with ServiceNow, we provide them a very particular private environment, independent environment. And that's different from multi-tenant systems like Salesforce, if any one of you know, because in ServiceNow, we give you three different environments to the client. We give them dev, test, and prod. Dev is basically where all the backend operations will be taken care. Test is where if whatever we are building, that is getting tested by the QA from our side and from client side. There is prod environment, production environment. This is actually client's playground where everything will be live for them to use. So no build, no kind of, I would say, configuration or development will be taking place here. It's just for giving them the final product. So it's called production environment. So now each of these, even for three of them, a company can have three different environments to take care of the processes independently. Why they're different? Because it ensures there is better data isolation. Because when we are building things, we might be using dummy data, we might be using some random data, but in production environment, they are having actual company data, people who are working there, their confidential information, where they're coming from, what is their marital status, what is their birth date, right? How much salary they're getting paid, all that. The live data, the actual real data is in prod, but the dummy data could be in the dev and test. So it ensures better data isolation, better performance, and better control. So you can even take care of the confidentiality of the data, right? So a typical enterprise setup will include these three: development, as I said, where configurations are made; test or UAT instance, we also call it a stage instance; for validation, for testing; and production is the live environment. So each instance is a complete copy, but with its own database, right? And at the core of architecture, there are very two vital components, and that is CMDB and CSTM. What does CMDB means? Configuration Management Database. It's very important to understand this. It basically means a tool or a certain capability which stores information about every IT asset and relationship between those assets in the company. So in your company, there could be 500 employees. So you have 500 laptops. Maybe some people are using more than one screens, right? It can go up to 600. So or you have 600 laptops. There are certain servers, databases, right? Let me give you one example. So think of a bank. The internet banking service depends on the servers, databases, and applications. Now, what are these all? These are configuration items. These are the different assets of the company, right? They're having server, databases, Wi-Fi, applications. They all come under CMDB. So CMDB is basically no matter which domain you're covering for an enterprise, for a company. It could be IT, HR, operations, anything, you name it. But CMDB is going to be the core of that project. Why? Because it is about the all the assets of the company. Then we have CSTM, which is Common Service Data Model. So it's like having a standardized framework which will help you to align the business services with the technical assets which are supporting them. So we can say these are interdependent, right? CMDB is dependent on CSTM because CSTM is like having a set of rules based on which CMDB will run. So it's like the guiding principle, and CMDB is exactly where the work happens. Now, I was giving you example of a bank. So the internet banking, I was saying, those services depends on the servers, the databases that are there, and the applications you have. Now, all the dependency information lives inside the CMDB and CSTM. So if one server goes down, ServiceNow immediately identifies which service and users are impacted. That is how CMDB is like helpful to the solving the problems, right? So you can have a user, they just use the application. There is a database behind that application, and there are servers and integrations taking care of. So this structure just ensures that ServiceNow can integrate with literally any system. You name it, from Workday to Zira, from SAP. So it makes it a true enterprise backbone. ServiceNow has that much flexibility that it can integrate with any other tool. So that's very important to understand. CMDB is the core. of all the IT assets of the company, and CSDM is the guiding principle based on which CMDB works. You know now there is a release twice a year. The naming convention is alphabetical after global cities from A to Z. They always support N-1 supported model where you stay on the latest version, but the previous release as well for a while. Then they provide you separate environments for each kind of work that you have to do. And every client gets their separate instance for better data isolation and confidentiality. So this was all about release model and architecture. Now, why ServiceNow BA is important? Because ServiceNow is not just a tool, right? If people don't know what they want, who should approve their request, what the process is, then even the best tool will fail. That's why business analysis is very important for ServiceNow. ServiceNow can be it can be an excellent tool, but if there is no one to ask these set of questions, as it said, the best tool will fail, right? So BA makes sure that right problem is captured, the right solution is built, and the right people are involved. So you see how much of importance your role carries here as a business analyst. You are now setting the foundation of the project because you are asking the right questions, you are noting down the requirements. Now, developers, technical architects, the QAs, they all will work based on what you will write down, what you will capture from the business after understanding from them. So, this is where a ServiceNow business analyst comes in because you are making sure that everything is perfectly captured. Now, let me share something. I have worked with business analysts who had no technical background, right? Because there are some peers with me who came from non-technical backgrounds, but they had this such excellent skill. They asked the best questions in the room, right? I think there is a certain kind of I would say pro to it if you are not very technically into it, because then you are more creative, you are more curious to know the things. So you ask the best questions in the room. Developers trusted them, clients loved them. Why? Because they were understanding the people in real. They were understanding the processes. They were getting the expectations satisfied. So skill beats background sometimes, but always I would say if you're in the role of BA, skills matters more than which background you're coming from, right? So it all depends on your curiosity levels, your analytical thinking, right? Your business thinking. If you are the kind of person who have always been getting into details that what, why, how, then BA is like the perfect role for you. Okay. And what does a ServiceNow BA really do? You don't do any coding, you don't do any configuration, you don't do any admin only work. You actually talk to the business users. So you become the front face of the project. You see how much of opportunity it gives you because you start building connections within your role. People start trusting you, they start relying on you, and there is an entire team waiting for you. They're relying on your understanding of capacity of understanding the problems, and you convert those problems into requirements. Then you work with the developers or the admins to configure those things. They actually do, you just guide them, and then you validate those solutions by testing, and then it goes live, right? So now if you're curious that okay, how the day in the life of a BA looks like, so your day as a ServiceNow BA could be maybe in the morning you're having workshop with HR team if you're building HR solution. If you're doing for IT, you might be having a workshop with IT team. You show them out of the box features of ServiceNow. When I say out of the box, it means which is already predefined or given by default by ServiceNow as a part of that domain, right? So in the morning, you're having workshop with your client where you're giving them the demo, you're making them understand how ServiceNow works. In afternoon, and then when they're looking at ServiceNow, they give you the requirements. Okay, we want this, we don't want this. This is how we want. You write down everything. And then in the afternoon, whatever discussions you had with your client or your customer, convert them into user stories. User story is just like a format where you convert the raw requirements into a structured format, right? So user stories, and in the evening, you're reviewing a demo. Now, you wrote a user story, but yesterday your team built some solutions for the previous user stories. And then you have to give a demo to the client. So you're reviewing it. You're saying that, okay, this is what I wrote. This is what was required as a part of requirement or business need. Now, this is what team has built. Now you're reviewing it because you have to give the demo to the client. See, this is what you wanted. This is what we have built. Next day, the client will say, this is exactly what we wanted, and everybody is happy. So your career growth and money in the BA could look like this, because obviously over the time you're down, or maybe 5 years down the line, you might be saying, okay, now we're done with BA, we want something else. So it's very important to understand where it can lead you, right? As a BA, you can be a senior BA. From BA, you can also become product owner. Now, why product owner? Because you're pretty much guiding them on things like, what it is, how it is working, where it is coming from, and why we're doing this. So that those all things are known by the product owner only. You own the product. As a business analyst, you are owning the product. Sometimes there is nobody from the client side who is taking care of these things, right? So that's where you come into the picture, and you just take care of this part, right? You become the product owner. You can be a solution consultant. Now you know the service. Now over the time you become experienced. Now you can say, I can even provide the direct technical solutions as well, because that's how it helps you. Over the time you keep getting better. You can become a manager, you can become an architect, functional level, right? So ServiceNow has been listed #1 in Forbes. As I said, there is a global demand for it. Canada, US, Europe market, it's like on the top list. There's a long-term relevance. It's not a fad, right? So I myself have been working like from 7 years in ServiceNow, and when I get to hear from my peers, from senior people, they have been into ServiceNow from last 15 to 20 years. Now, this is going nowhere. It has only been growing in the right direction, and it's going to be there in the market for next 15 to 20 years. Definitely, technologies keep coming and going, but it has stayed its, time. So there is a long-term relevance to this role. Now, next question is, after knowing this all, you might be thinking, okay, Gurpreet, now you're explaining a lot of things. It gets confusing, Maybe I'm trying my best to explain it, but it might get confusing for you. So next question could be, how doable is this career, right? So now we need to address this issue, this question, in fact. This is not an issue. For non-tech people, you're not expected to build the system. You are just expected to explain the problem clearly in this BA role of ServiceNow. And for freshers, you're not expected to know everything. You're just expected to learn a structured thinking. You need to follow a particular structure here. So you're covering everything. And for working professionals who are already into some different domains or have even used ServiceNow earlier, you already do 60% of this unknowingly. You just need to understand how you can map those areas with your current existing knowledge with the ServiceNow. So if you can explain a problem clearly to another person, you can be a ServiceNow BA. If you're facing some issue, you can address your concerns, you can ask the right set of questions. You're already on the path of becoming a BA. So that was all for today's session. I think we've already crossed the time, but yesterday I made you go through the curriculum. But then, as I said, when I go through the introductions and all that, so I tweak a plan a little bit as per the requirements. So this is how it will look like. Again, BA fundamentals, very important. You need to understand the project life cycle. Then what is requirement, the different techniques, process gap analysis, all that. And then we will start with the different modules. So this is just on a high level. I want to let you know, it's pretty much same as the curriculum, just a little tweaking to accommodate what is more required. Maybe over the time now, data foundations come into the picture, right? So that's very important for all of you to understand what exactly it is, right? If you are going from this course, I want to make sure that all of you are technically sound in that way, or functionally sound in that way, that you know about things. Carol, I see your hand raised.
Yes, hi, I have a quick question. So where does the CSA come in? And do you need to have the certified system admin certification before becoming a BA?
Right. That's a very good question. So once you will be done with this training, right? So there were different phases of the training yesterday, which I explained. First will be covering everything related to the BA role. And second will be your this ServiceNow admin role, right? Where you learning about the basics. And then we move to the module specific knowledge. Now, once you're done with this all, then this training is over. Your first step will be to prepare for the CSA. You will be referring back to the study material, to the sessions, to the questions we will be providing you, and then you prepare for this certification because it's like your entry card into ServiceNow world, the CSA certification. It shows that you are well equipped with the knowledge of basic fundamentals of ServiceNow. So that's when CSA comes into the picture. Once your training is over, that will be your first step.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure, anytime. Anybody else who has any questions? I hope this session was insightful for those who are new to ServiceNow specifically, and even for those who already know ServiceNow. We talked about the ecosystem, we talked about the releases, architecture, right? And how you can actually leverage your existing knowledge with the ServiceNow. So I'm hoping to see you all in the next session. Can I have a raise of hands? How many people were aligning with today's session? Please let me know your feedback if you feel like, okay, there is something more you would like to add or any different ways. Okay, perfect. I see a lot of hands raised. It's really good to see. I'm hoping to see you all in tomorrow's session as well. Yes, this session will be shared with all of you beneath. Yeah. So I think Thea or Josh will be sharing the link with all of you, and you can always go back to the recording and refer to it. Okay, perfect. I hope if there
Thank you for your explanation. It makes me very intrigued, and I want to continue this further. Thank you.
Perfect, Carol. I'm glad. Thank you so much. Okay, see you all in the next session then. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Gurpreet. Have a good